people have been calling for de-escalation in the Middle East, and that ceasefire announced by Donald Trump earlier today certainly seems to have de-escalated. Iran were accused of breaking the ceasefire just hours after it was announced. Israel promised a rapid retaliation, and the US president was not shy in expressing his frustration just moments ago.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have to respond to Iran?
You heard there Trump expressing his frustration with both sides. In extended comments to reporters, he expressed it throughout the day. He'd been annoyed not only with Iran, but with Israel. And that's significant because up until this point, the US leader has backed Israel to the hilt. Here's more of what he had to say.
Rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit and it missed its target. And now Israel's going out. These guys got to calm down. Ridiculous. I didn't like plenty of things I saw yesterday. I didn't like the fact that Israel unloaded right after we made the deal. They didn't have to unload. And I didn't like the fact that the retaliation was very strong. But in all fairness, Israel unloaded a lot. And now I hear Israel just went out because they felt it was violated by one rocket that didn't land anywhere. That's not what we want, I'll tell you. And I'm telling you, I'm not happy about that, Israel, either. All I do is play both sides. I'm going now, as you know, to NATO. Some of you are going with me, and I think it's going to be successful. We'll see. I'll let you know.
So you heard there Trump saying he was on his way to NATO. That's in The Hague. Right after that brief press conference, he got onto Air Force One. He's in the air right now. But just before he got on the plane, he told reporters that once on board, he would immediately be dealing with the fact that Israel were on the verge of retaliating for what they believed was a breach of the ceasefire by Iran. Here's Trump again.
The sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay?
Have you spoken to him this morning? How confident are you that Iran's capabilities have been completely demolished?
I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And, you know, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all. And frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots, they're after me. They want to try and demean.
You don't believe that Iran can rebuild its nuclear program?
No, Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize. I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers. You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people. And the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSDNC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
You have to love Trump. The Middle East is on fire, but he's still got time to go hard after CNN and MSNBC. He got onto Air Force One and had not long been in the air before he tweeted this. Now, we're not sure, as you would have heard Paul Murray say, whether this is because he's had a conversation with Benjamin Netanyahu or if this is just Donald Trump supposing what is about to happen. But he tweeted, Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Freya and Caleb, a lot has transpired, even in the last hour. What do you make of it all?
Well, the reports now from the Times of Israel are that in the last half hour, Trump and Netanyahu have spoken and that they came to an agreement that Israel could essentially carry out what you might call a symbolic attack on Iran. And the reports also via the Times of Israel are that they have hit a small target near Tehran with the will of Donald Trump, it would seem. There's also a report coming out of public broadcasters in Israel that when Trump put that post up on Truth Social, that he already knew that they were going to attack, when he said that Israel will not attack Iran. So it would seem that even in the dying moments of this, Trump was still trying to, by any means necessary, persuade Israel not to attack. And I suppose you can understand why, because in Trump's mind, he is trying to achieve this ceasefire to make sure that there is not the forever war that he promised people that he would not get involved in. The efforts that Trump has made in the last few days have not been to inflame any kind of war in the Middle East or to create war in the Middle East. It's been quite the opposite, really. I mean, I know a lot of people were critical of the fact that he took too long to do this. Of course, there were other people in the MAGA movement who said he shouldn't be getting involved at all. But I think Trump made a very methodical and thought-out decision here to strike when he did, because he thought this is an action by attacking their nuclear bases in Iran that will prevent further war in the Middle East and, of course, prevent a potential attack on the United States in the future. And so what he is trying to protect here is that. He acknowledges, of course, as we saw in those grabs there, that Iran has broken the ceasefire in some means, though it didn't cause any loss of life. The two missiles were intercepted over northern Israel. And so his point was you shouldn't have a response from Israel that is out of kilter with that. So it would seem we've come to a point where he said, look, if you have a symbolic retaliation, it's tit for tat, you're in the same boat now, let's get on with this ceasefire. That would seem to me to be the best possible result, so long as both sides, and particularly Iran now that they have been hit again, keeps up their end of the bargain.